Does this scenario sound familiar? You're grabbing coffee with a friend and notice they have just added a third piece of art to their collection. Or maybe you're at a backyard barbecue and a coworker is showing off a detailed new sleeve they just finished. You glance at your phone and your entire digital feed looks like a curated museum of fresh ink. Meanwhile, you are standing there with skin that is completely untouched. It's a funny shift. Nowadays, you're the one who feels like the outlier. In a society where getting inked is the default, choosing to stay natural feels like a radical move. But there's a deeper layer to this that rarely gets discussed. The psychology behind the decision to never get a tattoo is much more sophisticated than most people assume. Look at the numbers. More than 46% of millennials have at least one tattoo. That is nearly half of a whole generation walking around with permanent marks. While everyone is busy analyzing the urge to get tattooed, almost nobody looks at the logic of those who do not. For many, it is not about being afraid of a needle. It actually comes down to how you perceive the passage of time. Psychologists have a specific term for this: future self-continuity. It is basically your ability to see the you of 20 years from now as the same person you are today. Some people really struggle with that mental bridge. For you, getting a tattoo feels like you are making a permanent, executive decision for a future version of yourself who might feel like a total stranger. It is not about being indecisive. It's actually a form of long-term vision. Research shows that our personalities and core values can transform completely over a few decades. People who pass on tattoos are often just very skilled at imagining future regret before it even has a chance to happen. Beyond that, many tattoo-free individuals have what is known as a fluid identity orientation. You might see yourself as someone who is constantly evolving, unfinished, and meant to change. To you, a tattoo feels like freezing a single moment of an identity that was never intended to stand still. Now, this is where it gets a little more complex. Sometimes that openness is a sign of personal growth, but other times it might mask a hesitation to commit to a specific self-definition. The line between staying flexible and avoiding a solid identity can be quite thin. There is also the element of how the world looks at you. Even though tattoos are mainstream now, many people who stay blank are highly conscious of how they are viewed in professional or social circles. Experts call this impression management. It is a strategic way of thinking about how your personal choices impact your reputation. For some, permanent body art feels like giving up the steering wheel on how they might be perceived in the future. Then there is the quietest reason of all, a personal philosophy. Some people view their natural skin as a deliberate choice, much like a commitment to minimalism. They believe that who they are exists on the inside, and they do not feel the need to use symbols to prove it. You do not need a visual landmark to remember where you have been or what you love. Meaning does not require a physical medium. Some of the most profound people you will meet experience incredible depth without ever needing to etch it into their skin. Tattoos are one way to show that you have a deep soul, but the meaning doesn't depend on the ink. Not having tattoos doesn't mean you lack identity, character, or history. It simply means you have it all inside. In the end, the mindset of someone who never gets a tattoo is anything but simple. It is about how you view time, how you define yourself, and your own personal code. And maybe that is the real point. Sometimes the choice you do not make reveals just as much about who you are as the one you do. Whether you are covered in artwork or your skin is a total blank slate, what matters is that you chose consciously, authentically, and strictly for yourself. If you got the video code, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. There's still a lot more to come.